Caesar 4.30.1. The Britons assess the strength of the Roman forces. Quibus rebus cognitis. Ablative absolute here. Here's your PPP. Once these things were known. Pretty straightforward. Lovely. The leaders of Britain. This is your subject. The leaders. Nominative plural. And I am grieved to inform you that the verb is down here. And that's not even the end of the sentence. That's a comma, folks, not a period. The leaders of Britain. Now, duco, you know that as lead, but the Romans also meant thought by that verb. Duco can also mean to think. They thought that this was the best thing to do. Ooh! We've worked on this a little bit. The supine. Mighty fine. The supine. It's just takes the perfect passive stem, adds that fourth declension ending, ablative, and it just gives the meaning of the verb. Best thing to do. All right. And then after this comes the best thing to do. But let's get the rest of this in order before we move on. The chiefs, who, okay, we know that's a left bracket. Now the only question is how far this relative pronoun is going to go. There's your antecedent there. Plural, plural. Masculine, masculine, so match there. And it's nominative, so it's going to be the subject, and it's going to be a plural subject. So, that looks good. Great. Subject there, verb there. Who had met with Caesar after the battle. This is an expression. Convenio ad means to meet with. It looks like it means gather to, but not the case. Meet with Caesar. Now, they, collocuti inter se, having discussed amongst themselves. This modifies principes too. Plural, plural, masculine, masculine. This is a PPP, perfect passive participle of a deponent verb. Once again, we're using deponent verbs to get an active meaning in a past participle. So even though the form is passive, the meaning is active, but intransitive, having discussed. Cool. Okay. Now we've got another bracket. Left bracket here. This is going to be some kind of circumstantial clause. We're looking for imperfect subjunctives, people. Here's number one. Here's number two. End of bracket. Since they understood, since they knew. Okay, what did they understand? They understood that this is going to introduce an indirect statement. It's the bubble that contains the infinitive inside of it. Whenever you're thinking about something or knowing something, you've got a little thought bubble. They understood that something was lacking for the Romans. Now, that's not the way we phrase this, so I'm going to switch this around a little bit and just say they understood that the Romans were lacking horsemen, cavalry, and ships, and grain. They spy a weakness in the Roman forces. And, cognoscerent, so this is a break here, they, what's that? Cognosco, to know. They knew about the small number of troops from the smallness of the camp. So a Roman castra was usually a certain size, but this castra was smaller, which means there's probably fewer troops inside. This is your verb here, and this is your do here. All right. And here is infinitive, an indirect statement. That infinitive. All right, so they're thinking, the Romans may not be as strong as we think they are. Quai. What's this? Relative pronoun. That's a left bracket. We got to find something that's probably neuter, plural, nominative. Well, here's a neuter plural right there. These camps which were even narrower. That's a comparative. If you look in the vocab I give you, the adjective is angustus, but this is angustiora. So not just narrow, but narrower, because the camps which were narrower even, hoc quod, for this reason, because these two work together. Hoc quod, I've got a little note on that, and they basically come together in English to mean for the following reason that Caesar, subject, I guess I'm going to bracket this because the main verb's coming up. Let's put that right bracket there. Because Caesar had transported, this is pluperfect, that's very important here. This happened way back in the past, and this is the situation now. Caesar had transported his legions without equipment. Okay, so I think what Caesar's telling us is the force of the legions was the same, but they didn't have as much equipment or food. So the camps looked angustiora, narrower. Could be a miscalculation on the part of the Britons. All that in consideration, the principes, way up here. All right, let me get this in the picture. Subject goes with the verb. They thought it best to do.